Have you ever heard of a company that was, hiding a billion-dollar tech firm right inside of itself? Well, that's exactly the story we're going to dig into today. It's all about how this pretty quiet education provider completely transformed over a decade, basically unlocking a hidden asset to become a global AI powerhouse. So our story kicks off right here with this one simple post on an investment forum way back in 2012. The big question is, was this anonymous user some kind of financial genius, or did they just get incredibly lucky? Let's dive in and figure it out. All right, let's wind the clock all the way back to 2012. We're going to look at the original investment idea that really started this whole thing. So the initial pitch from 2012 was, well, it was surprisingly simple. It was really a classic value investing play. You know the checklist. Good management? Check. Low debt? Check. A decent story in a growing industry, and of course, a cheap price tag. Seemed pretty straightforward on the surface, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. The most brilliant part of this whole idea wasn't even in the original post. Nope, it came from another user about a month later who saw something that pretty much everyone else was missing. And this is it. This is the light bulb moment. This user figured out that tucked away inside this simple education company was a completely separate tech business, NIIT Technologies. And that tech division alone was valuable enough to act as a safety net for the stock price. This is what you call a classic hidden asset play. But, just spotting the hidden asset was the easy part. The next few years were a real struggle. It forced the company into a period of huge and probably pretty painful change. By 2015, the investment world was totally split on this. On one side, you had the skeptics pointing to falling profits, calling it a fundamentally weak company. But on the other side, you had the believers, still holding on to that hidden asset, that NIIT Technologies piece, as the safety net, the floor that would support the price no matter what. And this chart, this really shows you the heart of the problem. Back in 2014, NIIT Ltd was an education company, through and through. Just look at this revenue mix. Almost 90% of its money came from these struggling learning segments and really low-margin government school contracts. So what did management do? They got to work. They put together a really clear turnaround plan. Focus on the part that actually makes money, the corporate business. Try to fix the individual skills segment. And, this was crucial, start getting out of those unprofitable government contracts. It was a tough pivot, but it was absolutely necessary. Now, this big pivot set the stage for the company's most dramatic move yet. It was time to shed its old skin and fully become that hidden asset that a few clever investors had spotted years before. That tech business, the one that acted as the floor for the stock price for all those years, well, it was about to step into the spotlight and completely take over the story. And it was reborn with a new name, Coforge. But this was so much more than just a rebrand. It was basically a declaration of a totally new identity and a brand new mission. Now just look at this transformation. Compare this to that 2014 chart we just saw. It's night and day. The education business, gone. Today, Coforge is a pure-play IT services firm, with its biggest chunks coming from high-value sectors like banking and financial services. It is a totally different company. So this brings us to today, where Coforge has used that new identity to plant itself right at the front of one of the biggest trends in all of technology, artificial intelligence. And you can hear the strategy straight from the CEO, Sivir Singh. The plan isn't just to use AI, it's to build it into the very core of what they do, using their own in-house platforms to get a real leg up on the competition. And hey, this isn't just talk. They've actually built this suite of really powerful AI tools. Think about it. Code Insight AI can untangle these gigantic, ancient code bases that no human wants to touch. Blue Swan puts testing on autopilot. This is how they turn the big, fuzzy promise of AI into actual dollars and cents for their clients. But at the end of the day, it's all about execution. Coforge's whole mission is to get their clients past the let's just try it out phase with AI. They deliver fully integrated solutions that actually make a difference to the bottom line. They're not just selling cool ideas, they're selling results. And here's the proof, an order book of over 1.6 billion dollars. This one number is all the validation you need for that buried insight from a decade ago. The hidden asset wasn't just a safety net, it turned out to be a rocket ship. Okay, so let's zoom out and look at the whole journey, from a quiet forum post to a global AI powerhouse, and see what the investment world thinks about it all today. This timeline really puts the whole evolution in perspective. It started with one person's quiet observation on a forum, went through years of really tough restructuring, and ended with a complete rebirth as a sharp modern tech company.
So today, the debate is still going, but the topics have completely changed. The bulls, they see a leader in digital transformation with fantastic management. The bears, they worry that the price is too high and that the company might rely a little too much on a few big clients. That struggling education company is just a distant memory now.
Which really brings us to our final question. The Coforge story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the most valuable part of a company is the part that nobody is paying attention to. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden gems are just sitting on balance sheets right now, waiting for someone to find them?